Have you ever felt like life's chaos is pulling you in every direction, leaving you restless and overwhelmed? Imagine standing in the eye of the storm, calm and composed, while the world around you spins out of control. What if I told you that peace isn't about escaping life's challenges, but about mastering your inner world? This isn't some distant mystical state. It's a philosophy, a way of life, rooted in the timeless teachings of Stoicism. In this video, we'll explore 9 transformative lessons that can help you cultivate unshakable inner peace. We'll journey through powerful concepts like embracing impermanence, mastering detachment, and turning obstacles into opportunities. Each principle is a building block designed to guide you toward a life where nothing, absolutely nothing, can disturb your peace. But here's the twist. The most profound insight is saved for last. Stay with me, and by the end, you'll uncover the key to true freedom. Now, let's dive into the first lesson. 1. Embrace impermanence. Nothing in life lasts forever, yet how often do we resist this truth? We cling to fleeting moments, hoping to freeze time, only to suffer when change inevitably arrives. Why do we hold so tightly to things that we know are impermanent? Stoicism teaches us that impermanence is not something to fear, but to accept. Everything around us is in constant motion. The seasons change, relationships evolve, and even our own bodies transform with time. This truth is liberating if we learn to live in harmony with it. Consider this. When we embrace impermanence, we begin to appreciate the present moment. We stop fearing the loss of what we have, and instead cherish it while it's here. Imagine savoring a beautiful sunset without longing for it to last longer. Wouldn't life feel richer if we lived this way every day? But resisting change often leads to unnecessary suffering. When we grasp at stability in an inherently unstable world, we set ourselves up for disappointment. Reflect on your own life. Have you ever felt devastated by a breakup, a job loss, or a sudden life shift? In those moments, did you find yourself clinging to what was rather than accepting what is? To practice embracing impermanence, start small. Pay attention to the little changes around you. Notice how the sky shifts colors as the day progresses, or how a plant grows over time. These moments remind us that life is fluid, and that's what makes it beautiful. Another powerful exercise is to reflect on past changes that, in hindsight, were necessary for your growth. Perhaps losing a job opened the door to a new opportunity, or the end of a relationship led you to a deeper understanding of yourself. Every change carries a lesson if we're open to receiving it. In the words of Marcus Aurelius, time is a river, a violent current of events, glimpsed once and already carried past us, and another follows and is gone. Flow with this river rather than against it, and you'll find peace even amidst life's turbulence. Letting go of our resistance to change is not easy, but it's a necessary step toward inner tranquility. When you stop clinging, you free yourself from the chains of fear and anxiety. This acceptance doesn't mean you love every change, but it does mean you can find peace within it. With impermanence as our foundation, we turn to another form of self-imposed suffering, the imaginary pains we create in our minds. Let's explore how to break free from these mental traps. 2. Avoid suffering imaginary pains. How often do we torment ourselves with problems that don't even exist? We replay worst-case scenarios, anticipate disasters, and let our minds spiral into a vortex of what-ifs. But here's the truth. Most of these fears never materialize. Why, then, do we let imaginary pains rob us of our peace? Stoicism offers a powerful reminder. We suffer more often in imagination than in reality, as Seneca wisely observed. Our minds, designed to protect us, sometimes overestimate threats. This might have been useful when facing wild animals, but in today's world, it often leads to unnecessary stress. Think about your own life. Have you ever stayed awake at night worrying about a meeting, only for it to turn out fine? Or dreaded a conversation, only to find that the other person wasn't even upset? These mental fabrications sap your energy and rob you of the present moment. The cost of imaginary pains is high. Chronic stress, anxiety, and even physical health issues can stem from these self-created fears. When you constantly live in a state of anticipation, you disconnect from reality. You miss the beauty of now because your mind is lost in an uncertain future. So, how can we break free from this cycle? The first step is awareness. Catch yourself when your mind starts to spiral. Ask, is this real, or am I creating this pain in my head? Once you recognize the pattern, you gain power over it. Mindfulness is another invaluable tool. When your thoughts begin to wander, ground yourself in the present. Focus on your breath, observe your surroundings, or engage fully in whatever task you're doing. This practice helps you detach from hypothetical fears and reconnect with reality. It's also important to challenge your thoughts. Ask yourself, what evidence do I have that this will happen? Even if it does, what's the worst that could occur? You'll often find that your fears are exaggerated, and even the worst-case scenario isn't as catastrophic as you imagined. Finally, focus on what you can control. Much of our anxiety comes from trying to manage outcomes that are beyond our influence. Shift your energy toward actions you can take now. By doing so, you'll feel empowered rather than helpless. Remember, peace lies not in avoiding challenges, but in facing reality as it is. The next time your mind starts to fabricate pains, pause and remind yourself, this is not real. I choose to focus on what is, not on what might be. With imaginary pains set aside, we now turn to another common source of distress: the upsets we unknowingly create for ourselves. Let's explore how to stop being our own worst enemy. 3. Don't create your upsets. How many times have we felt upset only to realize later that it was unnecessary? Perhaps we overreacted, assumed the worst, or took things too personally. Often the storms in our minds are not caused by external events, but by our own interpretations of them. Why do we give away our peace so easily? The philosophy of Stoicism encourages us to examine our judgments closely. It's not the situation itself that disturbs us, but our reaction to it. Epictetus reminds us, it's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. This wisdom is a reminder that our inner peace is within our control, regardless of outside circumstances. Let's reflect. Have you ever been in a situation where a friend didn't text back, and you found yourself wondering if you did something wrong? Or perhaps a colleague was brief with you, and you assumed they were upset. In reality, the friend was simply busy, and the colleague was preoccupied. Our assumptions often create problems that don't exist, leading to unnecessary frustration. The act of overthinking can amplify these self-created upsets. We replay events, imagine negative motives, and spiral into a web of what-ifs. Each time we let our minds run wild with assumptions, we're choosing to disturb our own peace. Imagine how much mental energy could be saved if we simply took things at face value, without adding layers of interpretation. So, how can we stop creating our own upsets? Start by pausing before reacting. When something happens that triggers an emotional response, take a deep breath and ask, is this really as bad as it seems? Could there be another explanation? This pause creates space for clarity and prevents impulsive reactions. Challenging our thoughts is another powerful tool. When you find yourself spiraling, ask questions like, am I basing this on fact, or is it my assumption? Is this thought helping me, or is it harming my peace? By questioning the validity of our thoughts, we often see that they're not as solid as they seem. Clear communication also helps. If you're unsure about a situation, ask rather than assume. A simple question can clear up misunderstandings and save you from unnecessary worry. Imagine the relief of knowing the truth rather than fabricating a problem based on assumptions. To illustrate, let's say you've sent a message to a friend and hours pass without a reply. Your mind may start to wonder, are they angry? Did I say something wrong? This internal dialogue creates an upset that didn't need to exist. Instead, think, they might just be busy. Move on with your day, and when they respond later, you'll likely find that there was nothing wrong at all. Real peace is found in clarity and self-control. Each time you prevent yourself from creating an upset, you're choosing peace over needless suffering. Remember, Stoicism is about managing your reactions, not external events. Choose to respond wisely and maintain your tranquility. Now that we've learned to avoid creating our own storms, let's look at another essential practice: detachment. This skill allows us to care deeply without becoming entangled in outcomes beyond our control. Let's explore the art of letting go. 4. Master the art of detachment. Have you ever found yourself clinging tightly to something, a goal, a relationship, or even an idea, only to feel crushed when things didn't go as planned? Why do we tie our happiness to outcomes that are often beyond our control? Detachment, as taught by Stoicism, is the key to liberating ourselves from this cycle of suffering. Detachment isn't about apathy or indifference. It's about caring deeply while understanding that the outcomes are not entirely within your power. As the Stoics would say, focus on your actions, not the results. Epictetus emphasized this beautifully. Some things are up to us, and some things are not. Once you internalize this, you begin to act with intention while letting go of the need to control everything. Let's consider a common example: striving for a promotion at work. You prepare diligently, putting in your best effort. But when the decision isn't in your favor, you're left feeling defeated. Why? Because your sense of success was tied to an outcome you couldn't guarantee. Detachment, however, shifts your perspective. You take pride in your efforts and accept the result as it comes, knowing that your worth isn't determined by external validation. This principle applies to all areas of life. Think about relationships. How often do we cling to people, fearing their absence? This attachment stems from a belief that our happiness depends on them. But true connection flourishes when it's free from dependency. Detachment allows love and appreciation to exist without the weight of fear or control. The path to mastering detachment begins with awareness. Ask yourself, what am I overly attached to? How much of my peace depends on this? Once you identify these attachments, you can begin to loosen their grip. Recognize that while your efforts and intentions matter, the final outcome is often beyond your reach. Next, shift your focus to what you can control: your actions, thoughts, and attitudes. For example, if you're working on a creative project, immerse yourself in the process rather than obsessing over its reception. Enjoy the act of creation, knowing that the journey itself is rewarding, regardless of the result. Gratitude is another powerful practice. When you appreciate what you have without clinging to it, you foster a sense of abundance. Each moment, each experience becomes a gift rather than a possession. Take a moment to reflect. What in your life can you appreciate more deeply without holding on too tightly? Detachment, paradoxically, brings more fulfillment. By letting go, you free yourself from the constant anxiety of what if. You can fully engage with life's experiences, embracing them for what they are, rather than what you want them to be. This is where true peace resides. Now that we've explored the art of detachment, let's turn our attention to another powerful mindset shift: focusing on the how instead of the what. This shift will help you build lasting success and fulfillment in every area of your life. 5. Focus on the how, not the what. In our pursuit of success, how often do we fixate on the end goal, the what? We tell ourselves, "I'll be happy when I achieve this," or "I'll feel accomplished once I get that." But how many times has this focus left you overwhelmed, paralyzed by the enormity of the task ahead? What if the secret to lasting success and fulfillment isn't in obsessing over the what, but in mastering the how? Stoicism emphasizes the importance of process over outcome. It's not the final destination that defines you, but the steps you take along the way. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be. Be one." In other words, don't just dream of your goal. Live it through your daily actions. Imagine you want to write a book. The goal, the what, is clear, completing the manuscript. But if you only focus on holding that finished book in your hands, the task might feel insurmountable. Instead, shift your attention to the how, setting aside time each day to write, even if it's just a few paragraphs. Over time, these small, consistent efforts lead to the completion of your goal. This mindset isn't limited to personal projects. Take fitness as another example. Many people aim to lose weight or gain strength, but the what can seem distant and daunting. By focusing on the how, establishing a workout routine, improving nutrition, and staying consistent, you shift your energy to what you can control daily. The results will follow naturally as a byproduct of your commitment to the process. Why does focusing on the how work so well? For one, it grounds you in the present moment. You stop worrying about the future and instead concentrate on what you can do today. This reduces stress and builds momentum. Each small victory reinforces your confidence, making the next step easier. Moreover, this approach fosters adaptability. When you're too fixated on the what, any deviation from your plan can feel like failure. But when you focus on the how, you become more flexible. You can adjust your methods without losing sight of your ultimate aim, understanding that progress isn't always linear. To apply this principle in your life, start by breaking down your big goals into actionable steps. What daily habits or routines can you establish to move closer to your objective? For example, if your goal is to improve your mental well-being, your how could include practicing mindfulness, journaling, or setting aside time for self-reflection. Another key practice is to celebrate small wins. Every step forward, no matter how minor, is a victory. By recognizing and appreciating these moments, you stay motivated and focused on your journey. Finally, remind yourself that the outcome is often beyond your control, but your efforts are not. Focus on showing up consistently, doing your best each day. This is the essence of Stoicism: to find fulfillment not in external achievements, but in living virtuously, aligned with your values. With your attention now on the process, you'll find that obstacles become less intimidating. In fact, they may even transform into opportunities. Let's explore this transformative perspective next. 6. View obstacles as opportunities. Every life is filled with challenges. No matter who you are or what path you walk, obstacles will inevitably appear. But how do you perceive these obstacles? Do you see them as insurmountable roadblocks or as stepping stones to growth? The answer to this question can determine whether you flourish or falter. In Stoicism, obstacles are not seen as misfortunes, but as essential elements of life. Marcus Aurelius, in his Meditations, wrote, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." This profound idea reminds us that the very things we consider setbacks are, in fact, opportunities for growth. Consider the lives of those who have faced great adversity and emerged stronger. Steve Jobs, famously fired from Apple, the very company he founded, used that period of his life to innovate and create. His ventures with Next and Pixar not only defined his comeback, but also revolutionized industries. Or think of Oprah Winfrey, who faced rejection early in her career, only to build an empire that has inspired millions. These individuals didn't just overcome their obstacles, they used them as catalysts for success. But how do we adopt this mindset in our own lives? It begins with a shift in perspective. When confronted with a challenge, ask yourself, what can I learn from this? How can this experience help me grow? This simple reframing turns difficulties into valuable lessons. Another key element is embracing a growth mindset. This concept, closely aligned with Stoicism, suggests that our abilities and intelligence can be developed through effort and perseverance. Instead of seeing failure as a reflection of your limitations, view it as an opportunity to improve. Each setback becomes a chance to refine your skills, strengthen your resolve, and prepare for future challenges. To put this into practice, start by analyzing a recent obstacle you've faced. Perhaps you struggled with a project at work or faced a personal setback. Instead of dwelling on the difficulty, focus on what the experience taught you. Did it reveal a weakness that you can now work on? Did it force you to think creatively or build resilience? Write down these lessons and remind yourself of them the next time you face a challenge. It's also helpful to cultivate patience and persistence. Progress often comes slowly, and the path is rarely straightforward. Obstacles may seem daunting in the moment, but with time and effort, they often reveal themselves as necessary steps in your journey. Trust in the process, and remember that every challenge shapes you into a stronger, wiser individual. When you start to view obstacles as opportunities, you reclaim your power. No longer a victim of circumstance, you become an active participant in your own growth. Each difficulty becomes a chance to demonstrate your character, to live out the principles of Stoicism. Now that we've redefined obstacles, let's address another significant source of our distress, our desire to control everything. In the next section, we'll explore how to cultivate inner peace by letting go of this need for control. 7. Cultivate inner peace. In a world full of noise, chaos, and constant demands, how do we find peace? Many of us seek it in external circumstances, quiet retreats, ideal conditions, or the approval of others. But true peace, as Stoicism teaches, comes not from controlling our surroundings, but from mastering our inner world. It is a calm state of mind that remains unshaken, no matter the external turbulence. What exactly is inner peace? It's not the absence of challenges or stress, but the presence of a deep, unshakable calm within yourself. Epictetus reminds us, "You may fetter my leg, but my will, not even Zeus himself can overpower." This is the essence of Stoic tranquility, understanding that while external events may be beyond our control, our inner state is always ours to command. Why then do we so often feel restless and unsettled? One reason is our constant need for control. We strive to dictate outcomes, manage others' opinions, and prevent discomfort. But control, as the Stoics emphasize, is largely an illusion. Life is unpredictable, and the more we cling to control, the more we invite anxiety and frustration. To cultivate inner peace, the first step is acceptance. Recognize what is within your control, your actions, thoughts, and attitudes, and release your grip on everything else. This simple yet profound shift frees you from the burden of trying to manage the uncontrollable. As Marcus Aurelius said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." Mindfulness is another powerful tool. By grounding yourself in the present moment, you quiet the noise of past regrets and future worries. Take a few moments each day to simply breathe and observe your surroundings. Let go of judgment and focus on the here and now. This practice connects you to the present, where peace resides. Gratitude also plays a crucial role. When you focus on what you have rather than what you lack, your perspective shifts from scarcity to abundance. Each day, take a moment to reflect on 3 things you're grateful for. They can be as simple as the warmth of the sun or a kind word from a friend. Gratitude reminds you of life's gifts, no matter how small. Nature, too, offers a path to peace. The Stoics often found solace in the natural world, recognizing its rhythms as a reflection of life's impermanence. Spend time outdoors, walk among trees, listen to the rustle of leaves, or feel the earth beneath your feet. Nature's simplicity and constancy help us reconnect with a deeper sense of calm. Inner peace is not a one-time achievement, but a continuous practice. Life will still be chaotic, but with these practices, you can remain centered amidst the storm. The more you cultivate this peace, the more resilient you become. With inner peace as our foundation, we are better equipped to face life's challenges. But peace alone is not enough. We must also develop resilience, the ability to recover and grow stronger in the face of adversity. Let's explore how to build this vital trait. 8. Develop resilience through adversity. Adversity is life's great teacher, yet it often arrives uninvited, testing our limits and challenging our resolve. How do you respond when faced with hardship? Do you crumble under the weight of difficulties? Or do you rise, using each setback as a stepping stone toward greater strength and wisdom? Stoicism teaches us that resilience is not only possible, but essential for a life of purpose and inner peace. Resilience is the capacity to bounce back from adversity, to endure life's trials without losing your balance. The Stoics viewed adversity as an integral part of life, something to be embraced rather than avoided. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." This mindset transforms challenges into opportunities for growth. Reflect on a moment in your life when you faced significant adversity. Perhaps it was the loss of a job, the end of a relationship, or a personal failure. Did it break you, or did it push you to discover strengths you didn't know you had? Often, it's in these difficult moments that we learn the most about ourselves. We find courage, adaptability, and perseverance, the hallmarks of resilience. But resilience doesn't come naturally to everyone. It's a skill, one that can be cultivated through practice. The first step is to change your perspective on adversity. Instead of asking, "Why is this happening to me?" ask, "What can I learn from this?" This shift aligns with the Stoic principle of amor fati, or the love of fate, which encourages us to embrace all that life brings, both good and bad. Building resilience also requires a strong foundation of self-care. Physical well-being, adequate sleep, exercise, and nutrition fuels your mental and emotional strength. When you take care of your body, you equip yourself to face challenges with clarity and focus. Similarly, mental practices like mindfulness and meditation help you stay grounded, even when life feels overwhelming. Another key component of resilience is your support network. No one needs to face adversity alone. Surround yourself with people who uplift and encourage you, whether they're friends, family, or mentors. Sharing your struggles and seeking guidance can provide valuable perspective and emotional strength. Resilience is also about persistence. Life's trials may knock you down, but true strength lies in getting back up. Each time you rise, you reinforce your capacity to endure and thrive. Remember, resilience is not about avoiding pain, but learning to navigate through it with grace and courage. Let's not forget that resilience often leads to transformation. The challenges you face today can shape you into a wiser, more compassionate version of yourself. As Seneca said, "Difficulties strengthen the mind, as labor does the body." With each obstacle, you have the chance to grow stronger and more prepared for what lies ahead. Having explored the art of resilience, it's time to examine how we can prevent unnecessary distress in the first place. In the next section, we'll delve into the ways we often create our own upsets and how to stop this self-sabotaging habit. 9. Don't create your upsets. How often do we find ourselves upset? not because of the external world, but because of our own inner narratives. A friend's delayed response, a critical comment at work, or a minor inconvenience can spiral into a full-blown crisis in our minds. But have you ever paused to ask, am I creating this upset? Stoicism emphasizes that external events are neutral. It's our interpretation of them that causes distress. As Epictetus wisely observed, men are disturbed not by things, but by the views they take of them. This means that much of our suffering is self-inflicted, a result of our own judgments, assumptions, and overthinking. Let's explore a common scenario. Imagine you send a message to a friend, and hours pass without a reply. Instantly, your mind starts racing. Did I say something wrong? Are they upset with me? You spiral into worry, crafting an elaborate story of conflict. Later, you learn they were simply busy. The upset was entirely self-created. Why do we do this? It often stems from our need for control and validation. We want certainty, approval, and clear communication. When these are absent, our minds fill the void with assumptions, usually leaning toward the negative. This habit not only disturbs our peace, but also damages our relationships and productivity. The good news is that you can break free from this cycle. The first step is awareness. When you notice yourself becoming upset, pause and ask, is this reaction based on fact or assumption? Am I creating a problem where none exists? This simple question can bring clarity and help you avoid unnecessary distress. Next, practice reframing your thoughts. Instead of assuming the worst, consider more neutral or positive explanations. For example, if someone is short with you, rather than thinking, they're angry at me, you might think, they could be having a tough day. This shift not only preserves your peace, but fosters empathy and understanding. Clear communication is another powerful tool. If you're unsure about a situation, ask for clarification rather than making assumptions. A simple, "Hey, I noticed you seemed quiet earlier. Is everything okay?" can prevent misunderstandings and bring resolution. Finally, cultivate a mindset of letting go. Not everything warrants a strong emotional response. Ask yourself, will this matter in a week, a month, or a year? Often, the answer is no. By learning to let go of minor irritations and focusing on what truly matters, you free yourself from unnecessary suffering. Every time you stop yourself from creating an upset, you reclaim your peace. You demonstrate the Stoic principle of control over your inner world, regardless of external circumstances. As we wrap up this transformative journey, remember that maintaining peace isn't about avoiding life's challenges. It's about mastering your mind. Let's bring all these lessons together as we conclude our exploration. You've now explored 9 profound lessons from Stoicism that can transform your life. From embracing impermanence to mastering detachment, from cultivating inner peace to building resilience, and finally, learning not to create your own upsets, each principle serves as a cornerstone for a life of unshakable tranquility. Which of these lessons resonates most with you? Share your thoughts in the comments below. If this video has helped you on your journey toward peace and resilience, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share it with others who might benefit. Together, let's build a community that thrives on wisdom, strength, and inner peace. Thank you for joining me on this journey. May you find calm amidst life's storms, and may the wisdom of Stoicism guide you always. Until next time, stay grounded and let nothing disturb your peace.